Marry young, they said. This is Crap Therapists Say, Mended Light. What is the best age to get married? When, if you're looking to get married, do you know you're ready? Let's explore this. This is Crap Therapists Say, where you all write in with advice that you got from a therapist that you thought was crappy, and I give you my 2 cents on it. So, someone wrote in that a therapist told them you should get married young, right? Ostensibly, the rationale for that was you can get started building a life together, building a family together while you have the energy, right? While you have the enthusiasm, and while neither of you are too dead set in your ways so you can create together who you want to be as a couple. On the surface of that, it's not terrible advice. For a lot of people, research has shown that it's better to wait. I mean, obviously, there's the stressors of having money in the bank, completing your education, getting started on your career, being financially stable or emotionally stable before you get married. And I think that's all valid. The biggest reason that I would say maybe hold off, as a general rule, is that our brains are still developing. It isn't until your mid-20s that your brain kind of settles in. And this is why, for example, teenagers in particular do so much stupid crap and think they're invincible. It's not because they're stupid. It's because their brains haven't reached maturity yet. And I know plenty of people who got married very young and stayed together and are very happy. My sister is one of them. She got married at 19. To someone she had known for 3 months. She broke all the rules of what I would tell people. I would say, know somebody a whole lot longer than 3 months and date for a good long time and really make sure that who you think they are matches who they actually are, and take time to build that relationship of trust, and wait until you're a little older and you know exactly who you are and what you want out of life. And she's just like, she got married at 19 to someone she knew for 3 months, and they're very happy together and they're a wonderful couple. For every one of those, I can tell you 5 where it went the other way. The fact is, there is no hard, fast rule for everybody because everybody's different. Case in point, my sister, she absolutely made the right decision for her at getting married at such a young age. But if we look at trends, what we see is that people who are at least past their mid-20s tend to have a better idea of who they are, of what they want out of life, of what they're looking for in a partner, and where they're headed, and knowing if that's compatible with the person that you are dating and interested in marrying. But really, it's not about age. Let's talk about how do you increase your odds of success in a marriage. I recommend to all of you a book written about 15 years ago, How to Avoid Falling in Love with a Jerk by Dr. John Van Epp. It's amazing, honestly, to someone like me, like how much our society has evolved in just 15 years. Because that book talks very much just about marriage, husband, wife, right? Boom, that's it. And there would be people who would discount it because of that. And I would say that the principles of that book apply to LGBTQIA relationships, apply to lots of different relationships, but it's all about how to build a solid foundation for a lasting relationship. And what he talks about in that book is how important it is to actually take your time to get to know somebody before you decide to marry them or before you even decide to get serious. That it takes 3 months, 90 days for someone to start to show you who they are. Why? Because think about it. All of us were on our best behavior. When you're dating somebody for at least 3 months, you tend to not really show them your flaws and weaknesses as much, right? Your hair is always done. Your teeth are always brushed, your makeup is done, the house is clean when they come over. Someone does something annoying and you say, that's okay, instead of blowing your gasket. You pick up the socks, you do. We don't show our whole selves for at least 90 days. And that's if you're dealing with someone who is decent, who's just putting their best foot forward. It's longer if they're actively deceiving you. The issue with marrying young, I can only say this with the benefit of hindsight. Do you remember how long 3 months was when you were a kid? Just follow me on this for a second. Just bear with me. Summer break, 3 months, was an eternity. It was a lifetime of just snow cones and swimming and playing video games, right? Or whatever it is you did. That's what I did. And then you go back to school and you're like, oh yeah, this is what school was like. I had forgotten. It was ages ago. It's only 3 months. Talk to someone who's 40 about what 3 months looks like. Where did the time go? The reason I bring this up is because if you're in your late teens, if you're in your early 20s, you're transitioning to a place where you have more perspective on time. But you can date somebody for a week and feel like you're in love and feel like you know them when really, if they're being honest, all you know is you know about them. You haven't seen them in a variety of contexts with a variety of people. You haven't seen them under stress. You haven't seen them with different friends, with different family, with people they don't like, with people who are just neutral to them. They haven't revealed to you the harsher side or the weaker side of their character, of their personality that we all have. And because 3 months feels a lot longer the younger you are, it's easier to think in a short amount of time that you know this person, you trust this person. And let's face it, in our 20s, especially guys, it's a lot of hormones. And it's really easy, especially if you get physically involved with somebody, to confuse that with love because it's bonding. Oxytocin and vasopressin are released when you hold hands, when you cuddle, when you make out, when you kiss, when you have sex. And you can feel like you're very much in love, but you haven't had time. You haven't had time to see if it actually is. Are you in love with the idea of who you think this person is? Because we don't trust people, we trust who we think they are. And we have this image in our head that we've constructed based on the data that we've gotten or the data that we've received and the data that we've ignored. We've got this image in our head. And we trust that image, which is why when someone betrays us, we say, you're not who I thought you were. And so here's what I would say. I don't think there's anything particularly wrong with marrying young. I know other therapists would tell you different. Some researchers would tell you different. It's not about marrying young. It's about marrying smart. And marrying smart means I'm going to take it slow. I'm not going to be in a rush to the altar. I'm going to take time to really get to know this person, not just as a romantic partner or as a sexual partner, but as a friend. And see if who I think they are lines up with who they actually are. For some people, the value is wait until marriage for sex. For a lot of people, and more, every year, every decade, that's not the value. But the research supports holding off on sex until you're in a committed relationship. Look, you can have a casual sexual relationship that matures into a committed relationship. That does happen. But more often than not, it doesn't. And so if you're looking to build a strong foundation, it's important to be able to say, let's take it slow. I actually want to get to know you because once we get sexually involved, I'm going to be booty blinded. That's a line from I Spy with Owen Wilson and Eddie Murphy. Booty blinded, right? Blinded by booty, where you're sexually attracted to somebody and so you're not really paying attention to who they actually are. It's harder to be objective when you're sexually involved. And so the science is not about a purity culture or a chastity culture or anything like that. It's just about being smart about it. Slow it down. Right? Because the more involved you get, the more that oxytocin and vasopressin, those bonding hormones, get released into your bloodstream, and then it's harder to tell, it's harder to know. So if you are going to marry young, my advice, like the ones that tend to blow up and go really bad, they're young, they're passionate, they don't have a lot of experience, they assume they know better than the world, everybody else, and they're like, we're going to make it, we've got a love for the ages. And then, a year later, 2 years later, it's ended, not only ended, but ended badly. Because they didn't take the time and they didn't go in with both eyes open. When's the right age to get married? When it's right. And you know it's right because you keep your brain turned on the whole time. And how do you know that you're ready? You're ready if you've worked through your trauma, if you have it. You're ready if you've worked through your insecurities and your fears to the point where you feel like they're not going to sabotage your relationship. But are you ever completely ready? No. That's what makes it a growth experience. The only way to know exactly what you're doing with marriage or parenting or anything else is just to do it, right? And to acquire that experience. Anyways, that's my 2 cents on when should you marry. But you should marry young as a rule? No, I would never say you should marry young. I think you marry if you want to marry, first of all, and when you marry, when you feel like it's right. So this has been Crap Therapists Say. If you enjoyed this video, check out this other one. Let's just see where it goes, is what they said. Just see where it goes. No planning, no structure, just go with the flow. Was that good advice? I will give my 2 cents, so check out that video. If you need some support in your romantic relationships or other relationships, go to mendedlight.com. We've got a membership site with courses, live Q&As, a book of the month club where we engage with you directly about the books that we're reading on relationships and mental health. Or you could work with a member of our team if you need a more hands-on approach. Go to mendedlight.com for that. When do you think is the right time to marry? And what do you think of the advice I gave today? Even if you disagree, tell me why. Let me know in the comments below. What has been your experience? We'd love to learn from you. And until next time, keep shining, folks, because we need your light.